there's so much that makes you a have versus a have not in diseases, right? So there's the what mutation does your kid have? Does your kid have a rare mutation? That already sets you apart. My kid had one of the most common mutations, right? The most common mutation, which is why drugs were aimed at my boys first, right? So that already made me a have. Also, my kids don't have the cardiac problems. You either have cardiac problems pretty much or you don't. They have mild scarring on their hearts. So my kids are healthier than other boys with Duchenne. Then we got into a clinical trial, and now they're really healthier, and we're lucky. We're on an approved medication, and we have access to that approved medication. There are a lot of families who were not in the clinical trial who do not have access because insurance is not paying for it. I fight for those people every day. But sometimes it was almost like people didn't see that I was fighting for their kids too by putting my kids out there. I mean, my kids lost years of their lives. They didn't go to school. Max lost 2 years of school because I'd bring him to Congress. I'd bring him to the FDA. He had dinner with Janet Woodcock at the FDA because she needed to see the drug was working. You know, my boys would go and speak on the Hill at congressional briefings. That was not fun for us. That was not fun for them. And so I thought a lot of times, you know, people would send me sort of nasty messages, you know, about gloating or about how lucky we are. Or I'd post a video and they'd say, don't tell everybody Duchenne's cured. It's not cured. And you know, I never meant to represent it, but they would say, stop promoting that there's a treatment because there's not a treatment for everybody. And you should only support drug companies that are making treatments for everybody, and incremental benefit didn't matter. And so we've experienced a lot of hate. We've also experienced a lot of love, you know, people that just were cheering for us, people that have lost children that were still cheering for us, people that were grateful. I mean, when I got that trial started for Austin, there were 23 other boys that weren't going to have access to drug, and they got on drug. Those were grateful families. So there's a lot of haves and have-not. So we post a lot about what the boys can do because I think for some people, especially with newly diagnosed, they see Austin, you know, working at a biotech company for the summer, getting a degree in mechanical engineering, playing soccer in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He's an athlete. He's a speaker. He's a really cool guy. He's normal. And so for a lot of families, that's hope. But for a lot of families, that's bragging. And so I think it's the same situation with normal people. You know, my kid got straight A's versus my kid has learning disabilities versus I have a big house, you have a small house. You know, portions of our life suck too. So I think that, you know, it is hard. The divisiveness in disease communities is really toxic. And I think the further divisiveness when you throw into it, you know, people doing better than other people and people getting lucky. And it was incredibly lucky that Max got into that study, but it was also because I was motivated. And so I tell people that all the time. Nobody called me and said, hey, would you like Max to get into this study? Nobody called me and said, hey, would you like another study for Austin to get into? This was blood, sweat, and tears. So not everybody has to be that kind of advocate. And I understand if you're just trying to keep your head above water. But for me, for our family, surviving means that I'll push any buttons and I'll go anywhere and also do it for you.